Had a good one today. You heard about it. You heard about it. Heard about what, Jason? Well, I'm glad you asked. Let me bring it in and you'll see.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
Didn't you notice a powerful and obnoxious odor of mendacity in this room?
There is turmoil in Thornton Township as some government services are shut down. Supervisor Tiffany Henyard spokespeople tell NBC5 it's because of liability issues amid a lapse in an insurance policy.
We were in Thornton Township today, and that main building was locked. No one was answering the main phone lines, and some services that are offered there are for electric and heating for low-income homes. We spoke to Henyard spokespeople today and trustees who are calling it a ploy.
What's going on? What do we do? What do we have to do?
Darlene Lewis was one of many Thornton Township residents who tried to get services at the main township building Wednesday, only to find it locked.
I'm going to be in the dark. My apartment is electric. I can't cook.
She risks losing electric services. Supervisor Henyard warned of a government shutdown the night before.
So is there a government shutdown, and that is why the building is closed?
Well, we were advised by the attorneys to close the building. The building shouldn't be open. The risk is great.
According to Henyard's assistant Keith Price, the risk is that they didn't renew their insurance. He says it's because two trustees, Chris Gonzalez and Carmen Carlisle, have boycotted the past few weeks of meetings.
They played Russian roulette with the insurance.
But trustee Gonzalez tells NBC5 they've never voted on insurance in the past and says Henyard could have just signed off on it. But now the insurance company chose to not renew the township.
I'm thinking it's just a ploy. So we can't have a meeting, at the township building.
Gonzalez said they are open to conducting necessary township business like paying bills, setting a tax levy, and discussing new insurance, but have boycotted recent meetings, saying Henyard is trying to use them to appoint her choosing of a new trustee to fill a vacancy. They want to stall that appointment, which could be a tie-breaking vote for future business, citing scrutiny of Henyard's past spending.
If she gets somebody seated in that seat where she has another vote, we're going right back to all that.
Instead, they want voters to elect who they want as trustee instead.
For right now, it appears only that main building is closed. It's unclear how long that will last. Trustee Gonzalez said bus services were still running and other township buildings are still open. The trustees plan to have a special meeting on Friday to take care of other essential business.
A few moments later.
Val and to Terrell, good morning. Well, you can see the lights are off behind me. The doors are locked here, and there's a sign on the building right now that says it's closed. For how long? Neither residents nor employees know at this point.
I'm the only one, and I don't even work here, and I'm here.
Tom Olenichuk showed up first thing this morning to hand in important paperwork for an assistance program due Friday, but was met by this sign.
Okay, here I am. And they disappeared now. So now what? What do you do now?
At our busy season. And I come in and the staff's here. We can't get in the building.
The township assessor and her staff also came to work as usual, uninformed the building would be closed.
We got no notification, no warning or nothing.
Township Supervisor Tiffany Henyard warned of a government shutdown today after a fifth meeting had to be canceled yesterday because two board members failed to show up. Their aim, to block Henyard from appointing someone to a vacant trustee position who could provide tie-breaking votes.
Our job is to govern, to provide a way, provide services, and we're not doing that because they're stalling government, gridlocking it, because they can't have their way. Come on, it's not high school.
Unable to conduct business, Henyard says the township can't renew its insurance. A shutdown, she says, means ceasing assistance programs for seniors and after-school programs for children, potentially laying off more than 100 township workers.
Our hesitation is that if there's a person in there that will just say yes to everything, I mean, it will set us back.
Trustee Carmen Carlisle is one of the board members who's been absent from meetings. She says the board has not been part of insurance renewals in recent past and believes insurance could have been decided months ago.
It was used to get us in the building. We'll dangle the insurance over their heads so they can get here so we can get this appointment. But, you can't play with these things. You have to do what's responsible.
Now, Henyard has not returned our calls this morning to confirm what services might be halted today and for how long. All of this comes as Henyard is also suing township Democrats for their caucus vote earlier this month in which Henyard was left off the April ballot for supervisor.
Watch breaking news on YouTube. Subscribe to ABC7 Chicago Eyewitness News.
Tanya and Terrell, good morning. The threat of a government shutdown comes as a fifth Thornton Township meeting had to be canceled because of a lack of a quorum. The result of trustees Carmen Carlisle and Chris Gonzalez not showing up. Their aim is to block Supervisor Tiffany Henyard from appointing someone to a vacant trustee position who could provide tie-breaking votes. With the board unable to conduct business, Henyard says the township can't renew its insurance, and that's forcing the shutdown.
It's sad because it really hurts me because I really care about the people. So the seniors, they utilize the transportation to go to dialysis, to the doctor, to the store, things of that nature. Then you have the after-school program, and that's the youth. We pick kids up from school, and we keep them until 7 o'clock at night. We help them with their homework, so we got to stop that.
Henyard says a shutdown could mean potentially laying off more than 100 township workers. They've also had to cancel their annual holiday toy giveaway this weekend that helps hundreds of families. But Gonzalez says Henyard, who's under FBI scrutiny for her handling of township finances, and those in Dalton, where she's mayor, could renew the insurance without convening a meeting. But it's the insurers, he says, who've chosen not to renew the township. Now, all of this comes as Henyard is suing the township Democrats for their caucus vote earlier this month, in which she was left off the April ballot as supervisor.
That one there was a violation. Personally, I wouldn't have it.
Okay, I want to jump in real quick and show you something. Okay, real quick, I want to show you a couple things that were shown to me. One of these is by my new friend Ingram. I told y'all about Miss Ingram. So this is one of the Illinois statutes, and let me just read it real quick, and I'll make sure that this link is available, and I'll drop the pictures in the description as well. The Board of Trustees may provide for the purchase of insurance, including coverage obtained from risk management associations against any loss or liability of any officer, employee, or agent of the township resulting from a wrongful or negligent act of any officer, employee, or agent while discharging and endangering in his engaging in his duties and functions and acting within the scope of their duties and functions as an officer, employee, or agent of the township. The insurance shall be carried with the company authorized by the Department of Insurance to write such coverage in Illinois. They don't need all this stuff that Tiff is doing. All these shenanigans that Tiffany's doing are not needed. She doesn't need all that in order to have insurance. But watch this. Here's a little speculation I have, and I'm going to show you real quick. Last part of this. Shout out to Ingram. Oh, we know that part. All right, here's the responsibility of a supervisor. Before entering office, the supervisor must be bonded in the amount of money that will come into the supervisor's hands. If a surety company acts as surety in double the amount of money that will come into the supervisor's hands, if individuals act as sureties, the bond as treasurer for the township is approved by the township's clerk and filed in the office of the township clerk. The bond as treasurer for the road district is approved by the highway commissioner and filed by the office of the county clerk. Annual supervisor's report within 30 days before the annual township meeting. The supervisors must prepare and file with the township clerk a full statement of the financial affairs of the township. This statement shall also be given to the Board of Trustees. Why are you reading that, Jason? I'm reading that because I think, my little speculation, I got my tinfoil hat on here tonight. I think Tiffany Henyard is not insurable. Not Dalton, not Thornton Township, but Tiffany, because of all of the problems. She's been sued at least 10 times. She's got so many issues, so many problems. I don't think an insurer wants to deal with her And it just so happens to fall back on negatively on the, well, she's using it rather to fall negatively on the township. I know it sounds crazy. I might be crazy. That's just my thought. And that's what I'm extrapolating from looking at some of the insurance things that have come up, because most of us, your insurance automatically renews unless you've had some major accidents, right? Most, like your car insurance, your homeowner's insurance, small business insurance, it just automatically renews. Not you got to go through and get an election. Me and my wife don't have to have a budget meeting about the insurance. Now, sometimes now I got a new driver. Look, we might need to have a conversation, but we don't have to do that. Why are they doing all that? So shout out to Chris Gonzalez, shout out to Carmen Carlisle, who have pointed this out, that it's really Tiffany is doing this, and it's a power move. It's not anything that's really being shut down. We're not talking about when the federal government does it and they always shut down parks and all this kind of foolishness like that. It's not that. It's just Tiffany's doing that just because she's mad. She's fighting against the pricks. She's mad because Chris and Carmen sat out long enough that now they're going to have to vote for a trustee rather than her appoint a trustee. She doesn't want that. The people are not going to vote for the person that she wanted. She knows that. So now she's stuck in a catch-22. So she's going to come back in January, and they're going to have to have a real election, and people are going to have to really voice for a real trustee. That's going to be wild.